Hi. I would like to begin talking today about some of the religious traditions in Africa, beginning with what might be described as the foundational religious tradition, African indigenous traditions, or African traditional religions. Now, I would like to begin from the outset by saying that to just begin talking about African indigenous traditions is to enter a minefield because the way these traditions came into the modern world was, to say the least, very, very controversial. First of all, it is important to note that the way these traditions are talked about began not with practitioners of these traditions, but with outsiders. So when you think of Christianity, for example, or Islam, one of the things you would see is that they have been described mostly by those who were practitioners or perhaps descendants of practitioners. But that is not the case with African indigenous traditions. These traditions were first described elaborately by people who were not practitioners, people who were outsiders, and who saw these traditions from the outside, and what they saw they did not recognize. And because they did not recognize them, they gave them all kinds of names under the heavens. So it is important to realize that when we speak of African indigenous traditions, we are entering a minefield. We are entering a field of discourse in which we have to train ourselves to begin to speak again in a way that is thoughtful about these traditions. Even today, many practitioners of Christianity, of Islam in Africa, still speak the evil word about these traditions. So, how to think about African indigenous traditions does not come easily. It is a way that we need to learn, especially for many Africans. We need to learn about how to speak about our own traditions again, because in many ways we have been alienated from it. And the way we think about these traditions is very similar in some ways to how those outsiders who first spoke about these traditions spoke about them. So, how should we think about these religious traditions? I will try to think about this in the next clip.